I got pregnant in church, and of course, you know the
This
shame.
was the same church or was it different?
The same church.
Okay.
So I was going to the same church. I remember getting pregnant, and I tell people when I got pregnant, the first two things happened. One, I remember going to a retreat early that year before I found out I was pregnant, and they were doing, when you go youth retreat, they were doing a skit, and in the skit, somebody had gotten pregnant in church and she was considering an abortion. And in the skit, the person said, you can't cover one sin with another sin. Yes, sometimes when we're like doing church skits and sometimes we think it's for fun, believe me, that planted something in my heart. Like it was just a youth, the kids, the young people, them are doing it. And that planted such a thing in my heart when I found out that I was pregnant as a Christian. I kept remembering I cannot cover one sin with another. And that's why I didn't even consider doing an abortion this time. Right? Because I'm like, no. So I remember going to my pastor after I told, my mom and stuff. I went to my pastor. So I found out the Friday, the Monday I booked a session. I went to pastor. And at the time, our church had this thing that you had to go up to the pulpit and tell everybody you're pregnant. And a lot of women, young ladies that got pregnant in that church, they didn't want to do that, right? And I remember persons discouraging me, like persons from the church or other persons saying, don't go up there and, this is between you and God. And I remember just rationalizing like, hey, I used to attend Alpha. Alpha have this rule, if you eat on the road, then you're going to get in trouble, right? So don't eat on the road or you're not. So if the church has this rule, if I'm going to follow a school rule, why wouldn't I follow a church rule? And I'm like, it's like in my head, I'm like, it's not that serious. Listen, I'm just going to do what they tell me to do. I did not realize that step of obedience would have been what kept me right now. Yes. Because I can tell you that there are many girls that got pregnant in that church, and many of them are not Christian up to today. And that was 13 years ago, because my daughter is 13. Many of them are not in church today. And that step of obedience, at that time, I wasn't deep to think it was obedience. I was just like, I'm following a rule. Yeah, But that opened, it made persons in my church respect me. Yes. I remember when I had my baby, when I woke up after I was on the ward, the first visitors outside of my mom was my pastor and his wife.
Yes.
Because it's like through that small step of obedience, God flooded me with a love and community that would have only happened because I was obedient in that, what I consider a very small thing.